Hey guys, Monk52 here of course, and today we're looking at the Iwami. Now, all the modules, aiming systems mod 1, just the go-to one, 7% dispersion buff, really good. If you're feeling ballsy, go for Church mod, but really please don't. Steering gears is pretty good for your Japanese BBs. You could go prop mod, but I think steering is a bit more effective because usually you're turning your boat a little bit more. You're kind of playing it typically like the Amagi, like the Nagato, where you are kind of relying on your turning. You can see Amagi here is also kind of like about 15-second traverse. Oh, it's 14.6. We've got 10 meters worse turning circle here, 870 to 880. So yeah, it's making it similar to like the Amagi makes the steering gears really worth it for me. 100% concealment mod. Please don't run RGA. Yeah. You do have 13.6 concealment because you've got a very high pagoda, which isn't very good, but you do also, obviously, final mod is main better because you're focusing on your guns. Please don't run torpedo mod. Commander choice is Takeo Takagi, or your bog standard accuracy build here, honestly. I enjoy this. This is what works for me. Definitely recommend having reaching out as your final skill. Usually I have a military specialist on, but the limited range from 19.6 at tier 8, you kind of need more range, plus you've got such a fast fire rate, you really want to use that range and get more shots there. Now we're running a double accuracy build here. If you're not happy with that, we want a free play option. You basically run Takagi with a Cunningham build or Jujard, or if you're not comfortable with Jujard, run Nobody Kondo, which is the concealment, which brings your concealment down to 13.6 to like 13 with my commander, or even lower if you have a higher level Kondo. Now, as we said before, really fast reload. The AP is just a little bit less punchy than Izumo, but it's not far off. It's still pretty high. You've got a lot more hit points, 80,000 hit points, 37% to be protection as well. You can see Izumo's 78 and you've got 25, so you've got even better to be protection, which is good. A bit more health, which is always nice. You've got some fairly decent looking secondaries, though they're not really that impressive, but you can see they're actually dual purpose as well. Now we have torps in this one. High damaging torps, 20,000 damage, 2.2 detection, so very easily spottable, but they're going close to 70 knots and they've got 15 kilometer range, so very usable. A is surprisingly good for a Japanese battleship. As you can see, a lot of the secondaries, the 100mm guns, are dual purpose and they've got decent range as well. It's not too slow. This is 25 knots with drill bits on, but 28 without. You can see the rudder shift has been before, it's pretty darn good. I do like drill bits though, it doesn't give me a little bit more punch. But yeah, anyway, on to the armor itself. 32mm nose and stern, but the stern does have that Japanese like butt plating on the side there, which means you can bounce shells by kiting, which is really good. The armor build is really good. You have got some shell canters at the back here. Sorry, the wee boat came in there. So if you're getting help from the front, you can get penned through the deck, which is not very good. Take that nose off there. You can see a lot of superstructure, which isn't great, but you do have a 50mm deck plating. It's actually counting it as auxiliary room armor there. You can see that's the 38mm to be protection is up really good, helps bounce your armor. There it's there. 50mm auxiliary room armor deck, really good for bouncing HE. 32mm side plane, just for the upper deck though, not the lower deck. That's where your armor belt kicks in. So yeah, pretty resilient actually against HE, besides superstructure of course, but really quite good. No turtleback though, kind of a weird glitchy citadel with the barbettes there, but the turtleback is not present, which is usually the case for the Japanese. So you will get punished heavily if you get broadside, but considering an angle Iwami, it's pretty tough to kill, honestly. I'm going to say it. Citadel is relatively safe. It can get hit from plunging fire. As you can see, there's 32mm top deck, but it's worse. There's other Japanese that are far worse, particularly the key is pretty bad in this. Don't have a plane, which is unusual. We just have the secondary option, so we can't run something like Arthas, which is a bit of a shame. But overall, yeah, really good pokey boat, and let's see how she does on the seas. Now, this is from the live stream here. There's more games we played on it, I'm pretty sure, but I think I've already covered it. I feel very comfortable in the boat already, which is, again, sometimes I like these sort of boats. These are my sort of boats. You know, I'm not a massive battleship fan. I do like the battleships, but I like my cruisers more. But when it comes to the Japanese, I have a very big soft spot for these type of battleships, particularly the ones that are, you know, you using your guns, you're not just like bow on or something like that. And I like that sort of idea. So, you can see we've got our torpedoes, we're going to fire some zoning torps. It's unlikely we're going to use these torpedoes immediately in the game. You know, most engagements from BBs are 18, 19 plus kilometers, as you can see. And yeah, we're just going to fire them in the hopes that we might hit the rogue destroyer, because if we don't, there's no reason not to. Who cares about torpedo accuracy? Exactly. Even though its stats are out, I still don't care about torpedo accuracy, because yeah, I can see armor is really good. I think that was from the Brandenburg. Oh no, it was from Azuma, so it's still bounced, but still, you know, pretty darn decent armor here. We've not really that was kind of a resemblance to our broadside, so pretty good. We missed the shot on the Alsace, not because we aimed poorly, well, because the Alsace dodge, which is, you know, good on the Alsace part. I think the Alsace was a relatively good player here. Again, Azuma tries to fire a shot here, lands like 1 over pen or something, nothing really crazy. We're angling up to him anyway. Bisashi's on the far right hand side, but he's got island cover to us, which is good. We're spotted, so Destroyer is in that middle section of the map. And while there's a bit of cam, even though we are spotted by Shimikaze potentially, we take a look at our positioning here. Centre of the map is really good for battleships if you can pull it off. There's a lot of island cover on the flanks here, so it's actually pretty safe for the most part, taking a middle position here, though this Kansas could really change that if we're not careful. But yeah, you want to really cover as much as you can. If you can cover a lot of the battlefield with a relatively fast or slow battleship here, it's really, middle positions are really favourable for American battleships, but honestly, if you can pull off a middle position in any battleship, you'll do really well. And a little bit risky here. We're giving a little bit more broadside than I'd like to admit on this Kansas, and if he's paying attention to us, he could probably ruin us pretty heavily here. So we're going to angle up. We're going to take a pot shot. Maybe we'll catch him off guard for a change. We can afford to give broadside to Musashi because there's a gigantic rock in the way. And yeah, see what we can do to... Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. We got 2 pens for almost no damage. We must have hit some modules, maybe his guns, but nothing really crazy. Looks like Kansas has got different other problems to deal with right now, but we're going to give him some love. We're going to angle against him here, and you can see our excellent gun angles. We can angle a little bit more and be completely angled against him right now, but I'm looking at his guns right now. It's not just a cruiser tactic to look at battleship guns, it's anyone's tactic. I'd love to shoot the Saipan right now, but I think the Kansas is a little bit more important right now, because he has a good chance of shooting us. He just fired his gun, so we don't mind. We don't really need to angle to him right now. We can take another pot shot just at his upper deck. He is a little bit angled. And again, this gun doesn't have the best pen in the world. It's slightly worse than Ismo pen, but Ismo pen isn't that bad either. Again, we're hitting the modules here because Kansas guns are very big, so it's a very good chance you'll hit the modules, the actual gun itself, and, you know, break them and disable them. But again, it's America, so, you know, Kansas goes down, which is great. Zima maybe the next choice here, but we gotta look to our right soon, so we'll see what's going to happen here. Using an indicator, that's really cool about this thing. Really cool thing about this, you can use the indicator to see where they're going. Zima's going to be out of range, there's no point shooting because the time to shells the rifle. We see the Kagero take a pot shot really quickly, he's going to go target any second. We aimed, we fired very quickly, and that is Kagero down. Their only destroyer is dead, which is very good. If only it wasn't a CB game. Now, Ismo's pushing in, well, pushing south from the Bravo cap here. We're going to fire some torpedoes. Again, 15 kilometer range, and, you know, if they know they're coming, they're probably going to not dodge. They're probably going to dodge them, but, you know, they still go like close to 70 knots. They're not that far, not that difficult, not that easy to dodge either. And if you don't see them coming, then, yeah, you'll be surprised. And yeah, it's, I think, very important. So, Musashi broadside is a little bit more valuable to kill than Izumo broadside. Looks like the Key and the Musashi are going to ram, but Key does, of course, have torpedoes just like we do. So we'll see. Key gets absolutely spanked, but the torpedoes being sent? No. Now, because we have close levels to Izumo Pen, but not quite Izumo Pen, we probably are unlikely to Citadel the Musashi unless these closer ranges here, like 14 kilometer range. It's going to be a tough Citadel, at least giving flat broadside, and maybe we hit the cheek point. But this Ismo here is eating all these torps, and, well, he's eating 2 torpedoes that do 20k damage, and then there's the Citadel, and that's their devastating strike right there. I thought that was a good example of using the torpedoes as well, so yeah. Yeah. As you can see, guns are reloading in 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 4, 3, yeah, pretty quick. And we can maybe take a pot shot at that Alsace. But he is pretty far away, he's almost out of our range here, so we're going to dart forward to a quarter speed right now. Probably should be going full speed, a little bit of a mistake on my part, there we go, we adjust it immediately. And we're spotted by planes that we can't see. It's so frustrating, honestly, I think that's such an annoying mechanic in the game. We're spotted by something we can't see from plane-wise. Pot shot from Musashi, we bounce it again because Overmatch isn't everything, and we have got some sizable stern plating, and we can do some fairly decent shots here. Suzuya takes a pot shot and runs away. Japanese shells are not the slowest shells in the world. So, yeah, lands a fairly decent hit on him. Not a death strike, I was kind of hoping for one. But, yeah, we've had one, I guess, not so be too greedy. Musashi's taking another pot shot here, which means we need an angle against him. Fortunately, he does miss, but then we had to carrier torps, because that's how carriers go. Now, again, any AA will not save us from a CV, because A is not really a deterrent, it's a soft counter. And we're gonna enjoy the love of the carrier for quite some time. Now, we're not burning our flooding right now because carrier has another chance to set torps on us. I know carriers don't have the best torpedo chance, flooding chance, but they still do. And for my luck, they flood me every damn time. So I'm gonna wait till during damage control after the second set drops. Now, probably gonna get set fire by the CV because you know they can just set your damage control and break it every time. But you know what we can do, we can do. So we're going to take a pot shot on Musashi. Probably would recommend, unless he's giving flat broadside, aiming upper deck here. Now he's actually going forward here. We could use our torpedo indicator to determine that. There we go. You can see that he's accelerating here, just in case it wasn't obvious by looking at him. Sometimes you can't see these things, so good to check. Now, island cover, which means we can probably afford to get a bit more broadside, but it was a bit risky here. Islands are eating some of the shells, which is really good, but the other shells are arriving. Oh, okay, we're good. We just eat one over pin. That was a little bit risky there, but thanks to Island Kun, we actually have the chance to not get citadelled and ruined by the Musashi. So, yeah, thank you, Mr. Island. I appreciate it. So, anyway, we're going to keep resetting the Musashi, and obviously planes are going to give us a crap. But hopefully we can finish off the Musashi here. Looks like he's flooding to death. Don't really care. I just want to kill him. Want to make sure that he's dead. No nonsense. Get rid of him. Get him off the board. Carrier takes him down. Great. Now, hopefully the carrier can actually give me some help here, because I'm going to be taking a lot of HE, a lot of torpedoes, and I really can't do much about it. I'm a slow, clunky battleship, and carriers are absolute bullshit. Yes. Sorry. They just are. Yeah, so might as well do something valuable with my boat and with my HP while I still have it. Let's head to the Charlie Cap and take control of capture point Charlie. Now, carrier is probably likely to capture the B point. This is what I was thinking at the time, but I think it's more valuable to kill the battleship and get rid of him on the Charlie side than to chase a carrier who can easily see me coming and will just run away, because there's no way, if he's playing competently, a carrier will let me spot him unless the carrier helps me out, and the carrier has not really proven himself to help me out very much, at least at the minute. So, you know, if I can't trust my teammate to spot for me, then I'm going to do a decision that's probably better off for my own self here. I'm going to take matters in my own hands and try and win a game on my terms, assuming I don't have any CV supporting me. So yeah, we're going to go to the Charlie side and we're going to try and get rid of this Alsace. Probably more, it's a more consistent plan than it would be chasing the CV. Sure, I could chase the CV, but the Alsace is going to take capture point Charlie, and we are up on points, but we need every point we can get, because this carrier is going to work me down, and given enough time, he will absolutely kill me. So it's not great. And it's a Saipan as well. And the Saipan played correctly is absolutely devastating, even to a tier 8 battleship like myself here. Which is reasonable A. I think we're similar to Key in levels of A, which is not bad. Anyway, now, Alsace is not very healthy. He's been fighting quite a lot in this game here. We were pretty healthy. We've not really taken too much shells. We've just taken CV cancer. But it is half our health, and we're using heals and we're trying to survive. And again, even when there's no one shooting us, it's almost nigh impossible to dodge all the CV torps here. We have to position the way we are, because that's how we get this Alsace killed, you know? If we don't do it, we're going to be in trouble, and we have to just eat the damage. Again, carriers, you just have to eat the damage. If you want to play tactically, position your boat well, carriers can tend to punish that heavily, as you can see right now. Just lost an RTMK health. Meanwhile, the Alsace is healing. He's done 2,000 damage because we're angled against him again. Excellent gun angles of the Iwami. You can fire all your guns all angled, which is really, really good, really joyful. And now we want to send our torpedoes on the Alsace here. Honestly, you just want to kill him. I wouldn't force yourself to use torpedoes here. I would just focus on getting rid of the Alsace as soon as possible. Now, you got to watch out for the ram here, because there's a good chance the Alsace could ram us here before preventing us from taking the cap, and maybe we go down and then, you know, the carrier kills our carrier or something along those lines. 4 minutes is probably enough time for either carrier to kill each other. It's not too long, but it'll get the job done maybe. So we're just not going to risk it here, because you can see the torpedoes are rear facing. We'd have to give a relatively flat broadside to fire these torpedoes. Looks like the Alsace is making it really easy for us though by giving him flat broadside. just in case we are giving the angle here. You can see, but our guns are pretty potent and pretty accurate. So you can see 4 shells are fired, all 4 landed. Alsace has a very good citadel, so very turtleback, sorry, shall I say? So very difficult to get our results here. But yeah, enough pens were evidently enough. He did damage our gun turret, so that's unfortunate. But then again, we're fighting a CV, so there's no way we can turn ourselves except by trying to duke the shots. Now we're just focusing on dodging CV torps and CV bombs, so we'll see what we can do here. But again, unavoidable damage. That's just how the CV go. Unfortunately, he's going to reset us with 2 breaks our engine. If we repair that, we're just going to get flooded in the next salvo, so we can't repair that. We just got to sit here and just enjoy, just enjoy the CVs. So yes, guys, pretty much I could speed this up a little bit for, and I think I might. I think I will speed this up. So I will see you guys in a momento, because yeah, CV cancer is CV cancer. And we're back. Basically, we just duked CV torps and just mitigated as much damage as we could. And yeah, we won the game. 120,000, 28 plane kills, 1 dev strike. Not the showiest of games, but a good example of how the boat is played, I feel. So guys, if you enjoyed, press the like button, subscribe for more, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye for now, guys.